Hey guys, we are now in game number 6 of this Bo7 show match between Liquid Ret and WhiteRa. The score is currently 3-2 in Ret's favor. He won the first 3 games, and then WhiteRa has won the last 2. Will he do a reverse all kill? He just needs one more to bring it into the ace match and do the unthinkable. When Ret was up 3-0, I thought WhiteRa was out of this. I didn't think he had a chance, but he has shown us different builds every game, and each game he has been getting stronger and stronger. Will Ret have an answer to whatever WhiteRa ends up doing this game? He is going to be building a pylon now, and looks like he is going to be doing a wall right here, going with a Nexus. The past few maps kind of have been in the Protoss favor. Metalopolis is definitely one Zerg's love. Metalopolis is a map that is very balanced. I don't know which way that does go, but Ohana and Cloud Kingdom were definitely, I think, Protoss maps, while Metalopolis is definitely one that Ret feels very comfortable on, so WhiteRa better do something to mess up his groove. They are on close by air positions, which means if he does that Warp Prism play again, it's going to be so hard for Ret to scout it, and it did so much damage last game. Even though WhiteRa botched it up, missing his third force field, it was still effective. So we'll see what he ends up doing in game number 6. It looks like he may be going for a Nexus first, while Ret, he is going to be opening up with a 15 pool, despite WhiteRa not scouting at all. So you can see Ret right now thrown a little bit off. The games that WhiteRa didn't scout in the past, he ended up just going for a hatch first. But it being Metalopolis, he decides, okay, let's just go for a pool first. Don't want to do anything risky, because WhiteRa, I mean, I cannot predict this guy anymore. He just keeps throwing build after build at me. We do have Ret now taking his base at 15, undisturbed. When will he go up to his third base is the question. The Overlord does come in, will know that it was a Nexus first, so he is in no immediate danger. Can take that third base whenever he wants to, and again, gonna be getting that gas at 17 supply right at 3 minutes. He is one of the few Zergs, I think, that do this. I don't think Stefano does this, and a lot of Zergs have been influenced on Stefano's playstyle because he is just such a dominating Zerg player that every Zerg wants to be like him. They kind of get double gas a little bit later, focusing on drones, and Ret canceling that gas after WhiteRa did see it, so it looks like he will be going up on a very fast third base, doing something a little bit different, just faking out WhiteRa with that gas cancel. And now the third hatch comes up. Will Ret do the 12-minute max out on roaches now, after canceling that one gas to kind of get a few more drones out and delay that? This one Overlord is going to see the timing of everything. We do have the Cybernetic Core being built right here. WhiteRa with a very solid wall off. What will Ret do? I'm really curious, since he did cancel that one gas. This is definitely going to be an interesting game from Ret. Going to be mixing it up. Hopefully he is approaching that 5-minute mark in the game. Additionally, around the 30 drones, one more drone pump, and then I think he will get double gases. He is going on 3 bases. He needs to get speed roaches out to deal with blink stalkers, and I think that may be the only build that WhiteRa hasn't done, so maybe that's what he thinks is going to be happening. Does he see the gas timings? No, he doesn't. He doesn't know about them one bit. And a Stargate is being built. Did Ret see that? No, he didn't. WhiteRa tucking that Stargate away, and now we do have a probe. Going to be seeing this third base up very quickly. Overlord retreating, so he won't know the Void Ray will be coming out. What will Ret be doing without any of this gas? And does he know about the third gas timing? No, he doesn't. Doesn't know about any of this gas timing, so I think the Void Rays may catch him off guard yet again. And that did not prove well for him in that game on Ohana, which I think was game number 4 or 5. I think it was 4. We do have the third gas up now. Those Lings do see it completing. And is Ret going to get an Evo chamber? Has got double gases. Hasn't put any drones in them just yet. There we go. Going to be going over to those gases. And now the Zealot is going to make his way over, kill one drone, and now going to get a second one possibly. No, it is just going to be going on back, as Zealot does beat a Queen on a one-on-one fight, so the Queen is going to need help from this drone. but the drone was attacking the queen, and that is definitely not good. But some lings do come. There is a stalker. You can see the lings protecting the queen, but the stalker is going to come, and that can kill the queen. Will it get it? Yes, it will. And the speed nowhere near done. Rhett delayed on that gas, which means the stalker can outrun the lings off of creep, so he is safe. Picking off that queen is huge. Does break Rhett's build apart. He is getting that speed before the layers, so I'm really a little bit confused about his build. Generally, the Zerg, the meta, has been getting layer before that ling speed, just because you want to get roach speed immediately so you don't lose to blink stalkers. And this Void Ray is already at 2 kills. He has killed so many overlords. Going to be supply capping Rhett. Rhett was ahead in supply so he could start building roaches out. But because of losing 3 overlords by this Void Ray and Phoenix, well, it has been 4... I think it's been 4 overlords, actually. 1 kill on each of the Phoenix and the Void Rays were at 2, so killing 4 overlords so early in this game does set Rhett way behind in that supply. Does have 6 overlords out, now getting a Spore Crawler. And again, Rhett getting caught off guard by this Stargate play. 2 Spore Crawlers finishing off right here. That Void Ray still just hanging out right here. Gonna use the Phoenix to scout around, find out what base he wants to attack, and leaves the Void Ray right here to defend against any counter attacks. And now the Void Ray deciding, okay, it is safe. Caesar's Link still don't have speed. Actually gonna see the speed completing. And those Zealots and Sentries a little bit out of position, but that is not enough to deal with this cannon. There's Phoenix going to be positioning in, and where is the Void Ray? Going to be making his way with this Zealot and 2 Sentries. Actually, a lot more Zealots on the way. And there's Roaches going up into the main, going to get immediately lifted up. And a Pylon trying to go down on creep. That isn't going to be working too well. And now these Zealots have to retreat. Force fields do go down. Void Ray will be trying to take this all down, but those Roaches will easily clean up those Zealots. Even Queen's by, so WhiteRa does have to back off. His Void Ray play isn't working right now. 74 supply to 109. This Void Ray, though, going to be killing plenty of roaches, and this is going to take red supply down tremendously. There are 10 roaches down here, so that is 20 supply, not to mention the lings. Rhett just sending a few lings right here to wait for WhiteRa to take his 3rd base. WhiteRa going to be killing every roach that he can get his hands on, while Rhett is taking his 4th base, and he does have a Spire going up again. But will he get another Spire and then an Infestation Pit like he did last game? That was definitely a little bit bizarre. Maybe this game he'll do it and we get to find out what he was thinking, or maybe he'll just go straight into Mutas after his Spire is done. We do have Rhett now getting his 3rd base, has taken out the Ling, so WhiteRa taking his 3rd base after killing Rhett's Ling, so Rhett probably knows the timing of this 3rd base. And let's see, what is he got on the field? 7 roaches, 49 lings, not all that much. Going into WhiteRa, has 1 Void Ray, 4 Stalkers, and 6 Sentries. So both players don't have all that much. And Rhett going to come in here with a lot of lings. Some Force Fields do go down. A lot of Force Fields now going down, baiting a lot of those, trying to take out all these Stalkers as the Spire does complete, and he's building more lings, and that is a little bit odd. And there we go, the Mutas now being built. And using that to get a run-by over into this main base. Lings are going to take out 1 Pylon, but WhiteRa has very good Pylon spread. That's not unpowering anything. Now going to go for this Robo Facility. The Immortal is coming out. The Immortal doesn't do so good against Lings. You can see it 2-shots them. And now Zealot's coming. This Robo Facility will be taken on out just barely. The last Ling does finish the job, and we do have more Lings now coming in from Rhett. Going to be attacking this 3rd base, but there's still plenty over here. Going to be force fielding this, trying to trap as many Lings as he can, but does miss them. Rhett up on 4 bases at 68 drones. WhiteRa on 3 bases at 61 probes. Those Lings are at 0-0 upgrades, while WhiteRa is at 1-0. Rhett getting that +1 armor to make sure the Zealots 3-shot the Lings instead of 2-shotting them. Mutas do come out, will be taking out this Void Ray single-handedly. Very quickly down, no Muta lost in that engagement. WhiteRa right now only has 9 Stalkers. Does have the Phoenix out to deal with these Mutas. And the Mutas just be taking out those Stalkers and trying to get their way into these Phoenix. But not going to be able to do this. We do have WhiteRa now moving out with Zealots and Stalkers. Queen is way out of position, will be getting taken out, but does transfuse a Muta or two. Does have another Queen, so I think he meant to move these Queens. Those are not out of place. Rhett was trying to do some devastating timing, which it looks like it is not going to be working. Those Mutas are going to be retreating. That Phoenix is chasing them while WhiteRa now pushing Rhett back. The supplies are starting to even as WhiteRa does push his way down the middle of the map, but he is going to be retreating. Going in the upgrades, he is at 1-0 versus Rhett's 0-1. Those Mutas don't have any upgrades, not getting any on the way. He is now finally getting that Roach speed upgrade. And those Lings just going around. I don't know what they were thinking. Make sure, I guess, WhiteRa didn't ninja a base up here. All that I can think, or maybe looking for any pylons up on this area, but I don't think he even went to the edge. So now WhiteRa sending out Lings. Will he do yet another run by? It was successful the last time. 4 workers killed, 4 workers killed. No, it doesn't look like a run by. He is just going to try to brute force his way up here, but WhiteRa gets the wall in. No, it's not a complete wall right here. Lings do come running in. Will be taking out even more workers now. At the same time, the Mutas did hop up into that main, killing, I don't think really anything. I think WhiteRa was in there. I think the Mutas came in and they're like, oh, nope, we should not be here. These Lings, though, are killing a handful of probes. And Rhett definitely macking up at 78 workers, 269 probes on his 4 bases. Going to be building more and more Mutas. Hasn't started that spine collar thing yet, and getting all these Mutas a little bit risky. Going into the Stalk count, it is at 17 versus the 19 Mutas, so the Stalkers will beat the Mutas in a head-on-head fight, especially because they do lead the way in upgrades at 1-0, but the Muta's going to be at 1-0 very shortly as well. Rhett going to be taking his 5th base right now, and has a few spine collars up right here, only 4. And the Muta's definitely in a relatively large number. We will have him trying to decide where he wants to attack. Going to take out both these watchtowers, or at least just this one, preventing WhiteRa from knowing where his units are. Now WhiteRa is relatively split up, but does have Stalkers here to defend against the Mutas. Doing a great job at so, but Lings are going to be running into this natural right now. Going to be taking out even more probes. And that is what Rhett has been doing all game. Saying, if you even think about moving out, I'm going to be in your base killing your dudes. At the same time, we do have that creep spread by Rhett going down this middle of the map, getting dangerously close to WhiteRa's base. +2 on the way. He is at 1-1 right now. These Lings going to be coming back in for some more, but with those Colossus being out, Lings aren't going to be too terribly effective. And now there's plenty of Stalkers on the high ground as the Mutas do approach to go into the back here, baiting those Stalkers. Want them to blink down, and here we go. A handful of Mutas do come back. Stalkers do blink so they can start dealing with them. 2 Stalkers finding the way over in this area. Now the Mutas just going to try to take the Stalkers head on ahead. Is there enough Mutas to take out these Stalkers? It is not going to be close, as yes, there are enough Mutas to take those Stalkers out. More Stalkers, though, coming on in, and now the Muta count will be getting dangerously low. A blink does come in. The Mutas are forced to back on off. 18 workers killed. Now Rhett going to be going in for a run by, but with 3 Colossus here, those Lings just get absolutely melted. WhiteRa defending that, losing a handful of probes, but Rhett losing a large portion of his army. Going to be getting more Mutas, but hasn't been rebuilding those spine collars. Does have a handful of Mutas out, but WhiteRa has a lot of Stalkers at +2 now, just finishing. Those Colossus are going to be very scary, morphing in more and more Stalkers. And does WhiteRa have enough to defend against this? I don't know, actually. WhiteRa has a scary army, only 6 behind Rhett's army right now. And with these 3 Colossus, I mean, that is pretty good, but Rhett catching a few Stalkers out of position. And the question is, does he have enough Mutas right now? And here we go, going to be coming in here with everything. The Force Fields have to be good, but they are no. Oh, Guardian Shield not protecting that many Stalkers. And the Mutas do clean up all the sentries. It looks like he will be cleaning up all of these Stalkers. Just barely, though. Birth players losing a majority of their army. More Stalkers, though, coming in by WhiteRa. Will this be enough to pick off all of these Mutas? Mutas at 1-0. The Stalkers are at 2-1 right now. And the Colossus now doing what damage they can. Now going to be going up to take out any drones they can. Drones, though, going to be transferring on over. And the Stalkers have been dealt with. There are 3 left. And these mutas now going to be taking out the Colossus. This Colossus is going to be going up into the main. 105 of a 111 supply to 130 supply. Rhett still just barely in the lead, but he is on 5 bases to WhiteRa's 3 bases. Going into the work count, it is 70 probes to 70 drones, so equal economy right now. Those mutas not so good against these Stalkers, now kind of engaging in a low number, but those mutas do come back and the Stalkers do blink up to the high ground where he does have cannon and buildings for that glaive room to bounce to. And looks like Rhett has stabilized, WhiteRa has stabilized, and we will just keep going in to a macro game, and this is the game we have been waiting for all show match. Definitely the best one. Will this go into an ace match? Nice blinking from WhiteRa. And the muta's going to be coming in to try to take down this third base, and not take it down, just do harassment. But Rhett pulling his units there. No, those are probes, those aren't units. The Stalker's way out of position. Now they are coming as they have a sixth sense of the mutas coming in. 1 cannon goes down, 2 cannons go down, and now probes falling in. Stalkers do make the way on over, going into that muta versus Stalker count. 15 Stalkers to 27 mutas. I think he has enough mutas to engage on head, but keep in mind those mutas are injured. And I don't know what Operation Overlord is doing right now. I think... No, does he have them hotkeyed with his mutas? Yes, he does. That is probably a mistake. Hotkeying his units as he builds them, does hotkey a handful of Overlords. Now going to be taking out a lot of probes at this one base. You can see that count skyrocketing up. Stalkers do come back to defend, but those mutas definitely did a lot of damage there. And now these Overlords are like, oh, we should not be here. But it's not like WhiteRa can bring his Stalkers to kill off all the mutas, because if he does, then the mutas do come in and can't bring all the Stalkers to kill the Overlords. Because if he does, then the mutas would come in and harass the third base. More units being moved in by WhiteRa. He is at 70 workers to, or now 50 workers to just 1 base. And that explains why WhiteRa was kind of chilling in this middle line. If you hang out near other units, and I'll explain that after this game actually. Not something I want to explain right now. Mutas coming in doing a lot of damage to these probes, but WhiteRa still has enough to saturate this base. But Rhett going to be going up on his 6th base. Has taken half the map, containing WhiteRa to his 3 bases. WhiteRa not mining minerals at his main or his natural, so not mining that much at all. Rhett at 200 supply, WhiteRa at 100. And it's any time now that Rhett can just come storming on in. Will he end up taking this game in the whole show match? Rhett picking off a few Stalkers here. Does have 41 mutas to 16 Stalkers. No Storms are out by WhiteRa. Need Storms to deal with these mutas. Unless you get Storms, that means Rhett can just keep on building the mutas. And I think I may have time to say it. No, we do have WhiteRa going to be going in for an engagement right now. This is all or nothing. 2-1 upgrades to these mutas, which are at 2-1 as well, so no upgrade advantage. And now we even have Lings coming on in. Force fields are down, but I don't think force fields are enough. So many mutas going to be picking off both of those Colossus instantly, and now going in for those Stalkers, but the Stalkers look like they may be winning the fight, but now the Lings are coming in, adding to that DPS. The Stalkers do go down. Still a lot of mutas. And I don't think WhiteRa can rebuild enough Stalkers. 28 mutas still on the field. Good game, well played, congratulations. But let's go back in here. This was a very smart play that I think many people would miss out on. Okay, it's right around here. I hope you enjoyed that show match. Rhett does take it 4-2. But we're waiting. Okay, so right here. Wait. Come on, WhiteRa. Do it. Maybe he won't. I could have swore this way he kind of hung in that middle line. Putting on a little bit of pressure now, so maybe I missed it. Pulling back. Yeah, I did miss it, so we'll just watch it 20 minutes times 8. So while I'm talking about it, I'm trying to find it. What happened is the Stalkers hung out right here in this middle line. That is so smart to do because he was oversaturated. If the mutas engaged the Stalkers, the Glaive Worm would bounce off onto the probes. Yes, he would lose workers, but his Stalkers would stay alive, and that is what key. He was trying to take out all the mutas, or hoping he could take out all the mutas, and then go for a vicious counterattack. So, was it right here? Does he do it here? No. There's one point where he does come in and hangs out in this middle line for a little bit. Okay, right here. So now, let's go to this muta count. It is 36 to 18 Stalkers. So WhiteRa probably recognizes I don't have enough to defend this. And he also recognizes he's at 56 workers, and there's no minerals at 2 bases. So, he is oversaturated. Going to leave the Stalkers in this mineral line. What this allows them to happen is, as I said, the Glaive Worm to bounce off and hit probes, which is not Stalkers, which is very good. If you've ever seen ZVZ, the muta on muta battle, you'll see the Zerg players trying to run a bunch of links underneath their own mutas to absorb the Glaive Worm attack. This is that same thing. Putting the Stalkers in that middle line allows the probes to absorb the Glaive Worm. Yes, they go down, but it doesn't matter in this case. He has too many anyways. And Rhett, I mean, there's no chance at taking Rhett in a macro game. So his only chance was to kill off all the mutas and then go for a vicious counterattack. Doesn't matter if he loses workers or not, because his only goal is for the mutas to try to engage and for him to beat the mutas and then go engage. Hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, congratulations to Rhett for beating WhiteRa. That last game was pretty epic. I have to say, I am impressed by the last game. I was kind of disappointed by them all, but this one was more to my taste. If WhiteRa did end up getting Storms, I think that could be completely different. Blink Stalkers are great at holding off mutas, denying damage from being done, but there comes a point where you have to get Templars out, unless they're just going to keep on building mutas. I mean, mutas trade fairly well against Stalkers, keep you contained in the base. You really need to get Templars out. It's as simple as that. Going over into the injects, 13 seconds. Late game, 30 seconds. And I have to get this game started uploading, so take care, guys, and I will see you, well, later today because it's past midnight. You can look at my clock down here. I am on East Coast time. So, yep.